Welcome back, guys. This is a collaboration that I know you guys have been waiting on. This is Natasha's narrative featuring
Neatrixiaa. That's what my YouTube channel's called.
This is my twin sister.
She wishes. Oh, she wishes. Never.
I'm joking. This is Nia, aka Black Sheep of the Family, and this is Natasha, aka Queen, aka Firstborn.
Wanna be Nia, aka B-Tech Neatrixiaa. But you know.
Alright, but let's get serious. So today we're going to be talking about race, primarily race in our area, and how it's kind of evolved, how black is now the new it, and whatnot.
I'm not gonna say names today. If I think I'm in very, very big trouble. Very, very big trouble.
I'm done. Okay, so no, but really, me and Nia have a 6-7 year age gap, so we have quite a different perspective on things that have happened in our neighbourhood. So I thought it'd be really cool to have her on this video and for her to discuss her perspective. So Nia, how do you feel like there's been a change, especially going from primary school to secondary school, where you have like a huge increase of people listening to grime, Stormzy, Gigs, Skepta, and obviously like now the Afro kind of rap fusion with J Hus, etc. Do you think that has kind of helped black become cool? Do you feel like it's made you feel more comfortable with your peers about expressing your blackness?
I feel like yes, to an extent, because like when I was in primary school, obviously like black wasn't really it. Like I remember like
Katy Perry.
I remember when I used to make like Mira Panic characters. They used to know you black if you white. Period. Whole catfish. Get on the show.
Neither man's, where are you?
That was what she mean. That was my life. But then I came to secondary school. Like obviously black people were like, oh yeah, black people are lit. That's what everyone just like assumes, like all black people are kind of the same as loud lit people. But like people take it to their advantage. They want to get the advantages of the black people, but they don't want the disadvantages either. So they think they can speak on certain issues which they can't, because they now feel like they have like the
black
rights.
privilege.
I miss that. Like sometimes I need to just remember, like, you, even though you listen to black music, doesn't mean you're black.
Yeah. And remember where you come from.
Yeah.
I feel like with me, like, it was completely different, because obviously whilst you were in primary school and stuff, I was still in secondary school. So the music that was popping was house, primarily pop, like the Katy Perrys, etc. Like everyone wanted to be, you know, a skinny, white, blonde kind of. That was what everyone was pushing to be. And I think when I got into later years, blackness started to become cool, but it was more like, oh, do you know this rap lyric, blah blah blah, like, oh Tasha, I was master of the dance floor. Like, I'm not even gonna, like, I know I always make jokes about me not dancing, but I'm not joking. I don't think I could dance when I was in secondary school. I think I knew simple Beyonce, like bop bop, and that was about it. One dance move. So I definitely think that primarily the area that we've been brought up in, because we live in Greater London, and I think the differences in our schools, your school being closer to an area that is South London, so you've got more of an ethnic mix, and my school being in an area that is really
Suburban, like
really in the middle of the suburbs, definitely I think had an effect on our secondary school experiences. But I still think that even if you had gone to that school that you're at now, it would have been different, just because the music was really different. Like even in early 2000, I think it was, early 2010s is when I started to listen to like Wiley and stuff, who's obviously, you know, godfather of grime, but like that was only because what's that song? I'm a party, I'm a day. You know the one?
My body, that song, yeah.
I
can't remember what
song. How's it gone out of my head? And Heatwave and I came out, and then Oliver Twist came out that year as well. So I think that's when I started
the bars, the king.
I think that's when I started to really kind of embrace it more. But before, I don't think I didn't like being black. It's just that
it was better to be, it wasn't
celebrated, really.
I just feel like now, because obviously everyone, but I feel like it's good to an extent, because I'm black. I'm quite the stereotypical black person. If I need to say to myself, like, I'm loud, listen to music, party, da-da-da-da. But like, I'm friends with some people who are more like, you one day vibes. I said, friends, you're my sister. I said I'm friends with some people who are like more Yawande vibes, like very quiet, don't really like to go to parties like that, and like they get like people are like, oh yeah, but like she's a coconut, like why is she acting like that? You know what I mean? Which I feel like is hard for them because they're just there like that's just me. I don't like to be loud. I don't like those type of scenes. So I guess it's good to an extent. I'm happy that people like black people and stuff stuff, but I still feel like for black women it's harder. Like it's light skinned girls they like. It's not black girls. It's
but
some
even
people
if I
do, but it's
interject for a moment, when we're talking about the whole coconut vibes, I feel like your speech has changed as a result of that, because obviously I've grown up in the same household. I speak like this. She speaks like
that.
So do you feel like there was some sort of pressure,
I think
like from the outside a little bit?
A bit, because even the people that I'm friends with now, because obviously I'm friends with people who like live like Croydon and Peckham and the type of areas, yeah. So now like when I speak to them, they're like, oh my days, you sound like a white girl, and I'm still like, okay. But like when I'm here, they're like, they don't say anything, you know what I mean? Because in this area I sound like a black girl, but in that area I still sound like a white girl.
Anyway, regarding like speaking like a white girl, like you were saying, or like a coconut, etc., do you feel like you know, there is pressure put upon you to speak like people from ends, etc.?
I don't think it was like more. I think it was some pressure, but sometimes because I'm hanging around those type of people, I start to sound like them more. And the more I don't really, I hang around with some people in this area, but most of my friends don't live in this area. So the most, cause I get on more with people who live outside of this area. So my voice changed because of that, and also because of the music I listen to, like the way they rap and stuff like that, and the people that I watch on YouTube, like Nella Rose, like Iverian Doll, those type of people, they speak differently. So obviously my vocabulary has changed according to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Something that I didn't actually talk about was the whole BBL situation with black physical attributes.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the cornrowing and the different types of hairstyles.
Let me speak on that, because I have a lot to say. If she watches the joke, you know I'm not joking.
I don't want to get in trouble for cyberbullying.
Hey, basically, this is what I want to say. Okay, first of all, when it comes to doing hair and stuff like that, if it ain't cute, it just ain't cute. Period. Okay, I don't understand why some people just like they're just trying to cap like over like the stuff that we get like claim and stuff like that. Some of the things just don't suit you. Just why can't you just embrace your own culture? I don't like people who can't embrace their own culture. Like you always want to be doing stuff that like black people do and stuff like that. It just annoys me. Like, it's another level.
I think for me, I feel it on the other side. Like I feel like there's a certain sadness, especially when I see non-white as well as non-black people, so like different, so non-white, non-black, try to embrace black culture to the point where they're like neglecting their own. It makes me feel sad. I'm not even upset, because I'm just like, why don't you also appreciate that you're great? Like the whole thing with like black excellence and all these movements are amazing for black people, and like other ethnic groups, sorry, should be celebrating that, and that's amazing. But it just makes me feel sad that like you don't understand what you have, because I feel like it takes me back to like early 2000s and like all those other black girls who also felt the same thing.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think that's why I find it easier to see it on both sides.
I understand what you're saying. Like, I get what you mean to an extent, because obviously like finding your culture within yourself is very hard. Because I remember I used to hate Afro beats all the time. I remember used to play. I was so angry. Oh man, every single time in the morning, a Sunday, get ready to vacuum. Oh my days, don't even make me angry. Don't even that. Every single time we used to wake up, you ready to use cleaner. I am straight out to sleep. I said good night.
Oh my god.
Good night. Anyways, I feel sad to an extent, but I'm like, you need to understand, like for you to like love yourself and to love your culture, you have to look within yourself and be like what do I actually want to do? Like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're always gonna be from that place. You can't actually change where you're from.
Amen,
like you can try and like pretend to be from this place, but at the end of the day, when someone asks you where you're from, you're gonna have to say I'm from this place. If they found
your blood at a crime scene, what will it say?
Answer the question.
I mean, God forbid, but yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, you need to actually learn to love yourself within, to learn to love your culture, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm very, very happy that now, like, black is like a celebrated thing, and like bare people are like,
excellence,
yeah,
the whole Black Panther thing.
but don't you, I feel like to a bit, like to an extent, I feel like it's a bit fake. Do you know what I mean? I feel like now people feel like they have to say black excellence. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's some people who still don't like black people, but they're like, okay, everyone's jumping onto it.
Yeah,
so now to be like,
sure.
oh yeah, black people,
Yeah,
I know. The same people who are doing that. I'm still like, I know you don't like black people. Just stop it.
Yeah,
just stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't like people like that.
I think, yeah, it's about coming into your own and understand, like, making an effort to understand black history, especially regarding the different places that black people actually come from, how the Caribbean and Africa are so different, how North, West, East, South are different, how even within East it's so different.
Yeah.
So I think it's making a real effort to understand your heritage, why things are the way they are, will actually give you a better, more full appreciation of blackness, rather than just being like, the Instagram is saying this is popping, so it's popping.
I don't have words. But anyway, I was going to say also, like, when you're saying regarding BBL and stuff, obviously I have quite a nice figure. So everyone always like, and this stains facts, period. No, I'm joking. And like, people be like, oh yeah, da-da-da, you have a nice figure, da-da-da. Like, to an extent, it's like, oh, thank you so much, you know what I mean? But then, like, you still feel like, why are you always commenting on that? I just feel like more now. Exactly. It's so annoying. I'm just there like, can you please just leave me alone? You sound like a pervert. Leave me alone. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I can't breathe tonight. No, I think it is a weird thing, and it's like, anyway, we'll be getting on to
I don't understand why people even
well.
like big backs. Like, I don't understand what is so amazing. Like, why can't you? The thing with me is, yeah, I have to love your mindset. Why are you always focusing on people's figures? That they even.
Yeah, no, it's already.
And the fact that other people are feeling like they have to come and like, oh, and the fact that people are always like, oh yeah, like getting BBLs and stuff like that. I understand, like, you want to change. If that's what you feel like, if you feel insecure about yourself, you have the right to change whatever you want to do about yourself. But just remember, God made you, and it's God made everyone perfect. Okay, you're creating God's image. So for me to change anything about myself, I feel like I'm disrespecting God. So that's
I think that is a very good point, and I think also, but I do understand, like you said, insecurities, and like, a lot of the times those insecurities have gotten to a point where like it's hard for them to look at themselves, and then it comes with mental illness, etc. So we have to be careful. But I think also what we need to remember is that everything is a trend, right? So if we look at the 1960s, that's when you had like models like Twiggy. Have you heard of Twiggy? She was like a blonde model, really skinny. So that's when being skinny was the it thing. Then, you know, you move to the like 90s, you have the Tyras, the Naomis, I think Cindy Crawford was about in that time. Like, body shapes change constantly, and like, that's why it's so important to, you know, love yourself and whatever shape you have, because these things are going to change again. In another 10, 20 years time, it's going to be a different body shape, and we'll probably be more into like Asian culture or something. Do you know what I mean? So it's all about having that appreciation that's going to be long lasting, that no matter what changes, no matter how much the tide changes, you're still loving yourself, you're loving your culture, you're loving your body. Because
by you getting BBL, you actually loving yourself. I understand that it's changing it, but it's changing it for now. Like, you won't actually, you change something about yourself will actually make you actually love yourself. You get what I mean? Because I lost like quite a bit of weight, but now I'm just looking at myself, I'm like, for me to to love myself, I have to love myself within. The outside is just the image that everyone else is seeing, but it's really what's going in with your mind to make you actually have a positive outlook on life.
That spiritual growth, definitely. I mean, as Christians anyway, Bible hella important, and just using scripture to help us grow spiritually, emotionally is extremely important, and I think it helps really to have a better grasp of loving yourself.
True, facts.